It's a Friday afternoon, and Wall Street remains a little bit up for the day. The Dow ending shortly higher, about 54 points, and the Nasdaq up a little bit higher as well, about 61 points. This amid horrible jobs numbers released on Friday. The new job creation numbers came in and fell below Wall Street's estimates. Joe Biden reacted and says we need stimulus right away, and that's exactly what happened today. The truck passed over the finish line. The tow truck passed over the finish line as the reconciliation bill was voted and became law today. Now the tow hitch is being pulled right behind it, and on it is a $1.9 trillion stimulus package. I have all the details for you in this recording. I'll have the details and the routing times. I'll have Biden's proposal plans, the new jobs numbers, and the reaction across the board. And I'll have what the job creations meant for existing workers. And then I'll have the concerns about the massive hole in the labor market still unfolding today that could impact your stimulus. But then I'll be turning to that incredible great news detailed first on the channel yesterday. A $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. It's all getting really exciting news from Wall Street to Main Street, from your home to my home. This is LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me on LALATE for Afternoons LALATE. Now the most comprehensive 24 hours a day news channel covering all your financial news around the clock. Details and comprehensiveness and interactiveness you'll see nowhere else, so make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Subscribing makes you ensure you don't miss a video because there's breaking details across the board. Yesterday we had 2 new stimulus bills that are going to finality very soon. $1,000 for children and $50,000 for student loan debt forgiveness. I'm detailing them both over these 2 videos this afternoon. After this is third stimulus, just 15 minutes after this video, and then I'm back live with What the Chuck. You don't want to miss a single video, so make sure you subscribe and hit that alert button so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Also, consider becoming a member. You'll have access to the no less than 28 items that are in the third stimulus package, so you are ready to pounce and get that money as soon as it goes live. Become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link is in the pinned comment and also at the top of this chat. So much happening today as the third stimulus package's tow truck passed over the finish line. The reconciliation bill was passed today, so what does that mean about your $1.9 trillion stimulus bill? And how soon could you see that money? And how much are the stimulus checks? And there's a modification about them. And then Joe Biden's procedural plan. The new jobs numbers and that impact on the economy and the impact on stimulus, concerns about a recession, a massive hole in the labor market, and finally, that big, exciting, great news, the $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. I'm so excited for you. It's a big day, a great news, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is it's done. The reconciliation has been passed. And now, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, which is on the tow hitch to the tow truck, will be passed as well. It's just an issue of what day. Earlier today, a partisan vote was called, all Republicans against it, all Democrats in favor of it, with VP Harris voting the deciding tie-breaking vote. On Monday, we will begin the working on the specifics of the bill, Pelosi said minutes later. I'm so thankful that our caucus stayed together in unity, said Senator Chuck Schumer. We had no choice for the problems facing Americans and the desire to move forward, and that process to move forward is finalized. The budget reconciliation bill was passed today, and with that, it means that the stimulus package, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package from Joe Biden, will be passed as well. It's not a question of whether or can or will. It's a question of what day. Indications from Nancy and Chuck today say within the next 2 weeks, that will become law as well. $1,400 a stimulus check, $2,800 a married couple, $1,400 a child, $3,200 adult dependents. If you're on benefits, you get exactly the same amount, depending on your circumstance. Let's go over those numbers again. $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $3,200 for adult dependents, $2,800 for a married couple, and $1,400 for children. Later in this video, you'll hear Joe Biden's comments. He's not changing anything. He may change eligibility for very, very rich people. But for middle class, low income, for anyone that is a viewer of this channel, got a first and second stimulus check, you're getting another one as well. Congratulations. Let's turn to Biden's proposal plan. I'm just not willing. He said the Republicans were just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. And I'm not cutting the size of the checks, he said in a very emphatic remark today. What else is in that third stimulus package? Well, there's FPUC retro back to January of 2021, $400 a week. And then it'll bring you all the way forward to September of 2021 as well. That's about 40 weeks. 40 weeks at $400 a week is about $16,000. It's a lot of money. Unfortunately, if you're unemployed that long, it's not a good circumstance, but at least you will get that money plus the UI and PUA goes on top of. So if you've not done escalated benefits, you qualify for it because you made over $18,000, please do it and watch the videos on this channel, like FPUC on Overnights LA, that explains how you get it. That could mean that you could get and see possibly up to $700 a week over 40 weeks, about $25,000 to $35,000 in just now to September. A lot of money. And you'll need that money because the new jobs numbers came in today and it did not bode well. Yesterday, you heard me talk about the new jobs numbers, and they were expecting Wall Street on the low end, 50,000 new jobs created in the month of January. This is a jobs creation number. How many numbers of jobs are created in a particular month? The estimate on the low end was predicting 50,000. It came in at 49,000. Now, there were higher estimates. There were estimates of 300,000 new jobs for NatWest Markets, and Citibank was looking to see 250,000 new jobs. This is not good. A new report from Marvin Lowe said it was really a poor number. And the impact of the lockdowns are taking a big hit on the situation. But there was positive news in there. Two items of positive news. One, if you had a job, you got a lot more hours. The report details how many new jobs are created, not how many hours are worked. And the report delineated that people who had jobs before January got more hours of work, meaning that those businesses were open longer and people were making more money. But it did not show increase of new jobs. It also called for more stimulus. State Street Slow also said the report continues to signal that we need the stimulus and the chances that reconciliation versus more bipartisan support is front and center in this discussion. Meantime, this loss of 40,000 jobs in January signals the concern that we could be facing a long-time Great Recession. The new concern is a number that looks at 6-month employment rates. And over the last 6 months, it shows that January had the highest rate of long-term unemployment since the Great Recession. The question is whether and how quickly and how fast stimulus could get us back out of what we're facing, a potential big recession. There's also the concern about massive hole. The massive hole shows that there's still 10 million fewer jobs in this economy than when the pandemic hit in February of 2020. So they're trying to recoup all those jobs. A new report today from Bernstein and Biden says, you know what? The concern of spending money on the deficit, the concern of inflation are far worse than the concern of doing little too late on stimulus. And with that, the stimulus package was passed. But there's also great news, and that great news came yesterday in several forms. The first form was seeing and believing that now Democrats were introducing bill after bill after bill of stimulus. In this recording, I'm going over one of the new stimulus bills that's going to the finish line as well. It's not $1.9 trillion stimulus. It's a separate bill, and it's going to get passed. Why? Because Chuck Schumer and nearly all the Democrats support it and have signed on in favor of it. On the video right after this, I'll be going over the next one as well. There's a reason I'm detailing these bills for you. One, because they're standalone bills. I don't want you to miss it. Two, because you qualify for the money. But more importantly, three, I want you to show how 2021 is a different year. In 2021, with the Democrats controlling both the House and the Senate and able to call bills for a vote and get them finalized very quickly, you can see a lot of stimulus packages very quickly. We always talk about the standalone bill for benefits. We talk about the standalone bill for teachers and the standalone bill for infrastructure. Well, here you go. Here's the standalone bill for $50,000 of student loan debt. That introduction started yesterday. And it's not something you've heard for the very first time on this channel today or yesterday. You've been hearing it since October. Now Democrats are taking the move. How are they doing it? They're doing it as a two-prong approach. One, they introduced a bill yesterday. A bill to forgive $50,000 of student loan debt. The bill had overwhelming support and co-signers in its introduction. It had Elizabeth Warren. It had Chuck Schumer, who's going to call for a vote to get passed. And it has Ayanna Pressley, who's detailed in several of the videos today for other bills she's working on. And it had 14 Democratic senators and 45 Democratic House representatives. That means this bill's going to pass. It means it's just the question of what day it's going to be voted upon. Now, Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren also did a second-hand approach. And that second-hand approach was going to Joe Biden and saying, hey, Joe, do this by executive order. LLate, myself, well, they didn't mention me personally, but Broadcast News and us have been talking to you about a while about doing this by executive order. You can do this by executive order. My prediction, he does it by executive order. You see today, and you see last week, a different type of Joe Biden from January. In January, Joe Biden was very chat with this person, chat with this person. Well, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. He even said he would get the stimulus in a couple of weeks. Not anymore. He is urgent and moving very fast. And he's actually said, if you don't like my executive orders, Republicans, go sue me. His exact words. He's ready to go big and bold and not ready to sit around. And he says, if you want to get on my path, then get on my path. Otherwise, the bill's going to get passed. So could he do executive order for student loan debt forgiveness? Yes. And Elizabeth Warren said he can't. Elizabeth Warren said the forgiveness of $50,000 of student loan debt is the single most effective executive order Biden can take to kickstart this economy to help close the racial gap. Schumer, Warren, and Pressley met with Biden yesterday and urged him to do this immediately by executive order. But they're not sitting around. They also introduced the bill yesterday that would urge and force the Department of Education to immediately forgive the student loan debt. And that is the bill that got 45 representatives and 14 senators support in favor of it. Wow. So where are we as we go into the weekend? Well, as we head into a big football weekend, NFL had a major announcement as well. That major announcement is that while there's currently 7 NFL stadiums providing super sites for vaccinations, the NFL today, just minutes ago, announced it's dedicating all 32 NFL stadiums to be super sites for vaccinations in the offseason for the White House. Really big news. This amid news as the roll-up continues. 300,000 vaccinations are being urged by the president in the next few months. He's ordered 200,000 new doses of Moderna and Pfizer. Yesterday, you heard me detail that Johnson & Johnson is going for emergency authorization. More about that on the video after this. I told you that Moderna is going to start trial tests on its booster for the South African variant next month in March. And you could see no less than 40,000 pharmacies and 6,000 big box retailers in the next week or two suddenly carrying the doses. Why? Because that's another executive order by Joe Biden in the last 48 hours. Finally, yesterday, the FDA under Joe Biden did another executive order and said that we're going to start a task force to deal with the variant of the virus going forward. So much happening across the board, but let me give you the big update where we are on Afternoons LALate at the 13-minute mark. The big update is that the third stimulus package bill is going to finality. It's being finished. It's not a question of how or will, it's a question of what day. Nancy Pelosi indicates that the bill will be worked on starting this coming Monday and will be finalized in no less than 2 weeks. $14 is stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for a married couple, $3,200 for adult dependents, $1,400 for children. Nothing else has changed about it. FPUC retro to $400 a week back to January, forward to September, and all the other deal provisions I detail in the video coming up right after this. So join me on Third Stimulus, in which I go over the exciting great news of what's in the third stimulus package and more details about what Joe Biden is going to be doing for another new stimulus package, $1,000 per child going forward. Stay informed, stay focused. Make sure you go to the Finance Channel, subscribe, like this video, and become a member by becoming a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay at Ally for more.